Hello world, hello America, and hello Los Angeles. I'm your host Brandon I. Brooks with the Los Angeles Sentinel newspaper, and I am so excited today. Actually, it's a little understatement. I'm trying to keep my composure, because look at where I'm at. I probably don't need to describe it, but I will let you know I am in the dugout at the Los Angeles Dodgers Stadium with the man himself, the manager, Mr. Dave Roberts. How you doing,
Brandon, what's up, man?
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. I can't believe it.
No, this is good. Dodger Stadium,
right?
in the home dugout. This is my office,
And
man.
game day, right?
Game day, that's right.
Yeah, you know, so I'm very excited, but look, let's jump right on into it. Tell us about you being the manager for this season. You know, last year, you guys almost got it, but a few transitions this year.
Yeah.
But tell us about expectations and, you know, what we can expect from you.
Yeah, well, I think for me, for the Dodgers, the last couple of years, we lost in the World Series, so we were the second best team in all of baseball, and I think that if you look around the industry, we've done a lot of good things. We're in a great city, great fans. We draw more fans than anyone in all the sports. And as far as the organization, we win. And the goal is to bring a championship back to Los Angeles. And so, yeah, you mentioned we made a few tweaks with our roster. And every year you're always trying to tweak and get that right formula. But I think as far as the culture, we have guys that are very blue collar. We love to play, love to compete, and as a fan, when you come watch the Dodgers play, you can relate to them, you know, because it's a group of guys that play hard, play the game, respect the game, and so a lot of it is I try to understand and let the players understand the vision of winning a championship. The hard part, though, is the day-to-day grind, and that's what we're in right now, just kind of going out there every single day trying to win a baseball.
Let's talk about that grind from your perspective. Being a manager, a lot of people are always, you know, seeing what the players do. You know, even the show backstage kind of gives us a look into you. But how do you approach every day? Even let's talk about today, game day. How do you wake up and how do you get your mojo going?
Well, you know what? Today was a special day actually for me. Thank you for asking. I had a chance to go to the City of Hope, and I'm a cancer survivor myself. And so, so I went there and they had their 43rd annual Celebration of Life reunion for bone transplant survivors. So I went there and spoke and got to see families and patients, and you know, there was close to 1,000 people there.
So speaking of positive energy, I mean, I think that's very important. Let's say when those days, you know, when people aren't necessarily up to their best, and you know that even yourself, you're battling that, how do you kind of keep, you know, you may have something personal happen at home. So a lot of people may not know that, hey, the coach is having a bad day. Are you able to show that? Are you able to express it? Because you're a former player too, so how do you, you know?
I don't. I think that's a fair question. And, you know, it's funny, in baseball, we don't ever, it's kind of an outlet. And I kind of have grown to understand from the people that coaches, players that mentored me when I was a player, that when we come to the ballpark, it's kind of our escape. So where things aren't going well, we can kind of be on our own, and so if I do have a bad day, which obviously everyone has bad days, I really don't let that be known. Okay. And it is hard though, because I'm always trying to pour into players, coaches, and you don't really get that reciprocation, but that's kind of the job that I signed up for. But my default is I love coaching, I love teaching, and I love relationships, and that's what is my fuel, and that's what is my passion.
You seem, a lot of people credit you that you're players, you're former players.
Yeah.
They call you, like, you know, players manager. Excuse me. So, but how would you define yourself as that? Do you kind of feel that you're that, or being a former player, do you kind of say, hey, I remember those days?
I definitely do that. That's a first piece of advice, that you got to remember how hard the game is. Okay. So I think that's one thing that makes people players coaches or players managers. You understand that these guys are the best at what they do, whatever sport, football, basketball, baseball, and the game is difficult. They're pros, and just to be sympathetic towards that, to be able to communicate, I think lends itself to being a player's manager. But it's not easy. But you know, this day and age where there's a lot going on, players aren't communicating as much as far as their social media. We communicate by text a lot, and it's like, but still to have those organic one-on-one conversations, that's powerful.
Okay. Let's rewind a little bit about, you know, how Mr. Dave Roberts got to this point. First question I do want to ask: did you ever want to be? Did you know as a player you wanted to be a coach?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
I think that it's just no, and it kind of just.
You just seemed like you were born like a coach.
I guess
like,
so.
Like without,
I didn't have all the gray hair that I have right now. You know what? It's one of those things that in life, and I think that I learned early on, you just kind of take what's ahead of you, and you try to dominate.
Yeah.
And so when I went to UCLA, I adjusted, and I was from San Diego. Now you go to this big pool of people at UCLA, and I'm overwhelmed. And then you're wondering if you fit in, how you fit in.
You were a walk-on, right?
I was a walk-on.
That's amazing, yeah.
And can you survive? And then you learn to know that you can hang. Then you dominate that. And then you get drafted, and then you're wondering, man, I'm a professional. Can I hang? Can I dominate it?
I heard you almost kind of,
And I was
almost
almost going to go home.
Yeah.
And so then you get a chance to play in the big leagues and have a 10-year career, and you're just focused on what you're doing. And then the next progression is, then I did some TV, I did some radio, I did some front office, and then once I got an opportunity to coach, then I said, you know what, this is a passion of mine. I love the players. I love being a part of a team. And so once I knew that and I felt that, then the next progression was potentially being a manager. Yeah.